Let's take a look at this monthly housing payment exercise. All right, I'll read it to you. Ben and Carla Covington plan to buy a condominium. They will obtain a $230,000 20-year mortgage at 6%. Their annual property taxes are expected to be $1,700. Property insurance is $620 a year, and the condo association fee is $260 a month. Based on these items, determine the total monthly housing payment for the Covingtons. And you could use Exhibit 7.7, and I'll demonstrate that approach to solve this. But I'm also going to show how you could solve this using Excel. So let's look at Excel first. All right, so what do we need to do? We know that the purchase price, that's the present value, is $230,000. Now, it's a 20-year mortgage, so that's in years. So the number of periods would actually be 20 times 12, right? Take 20 times 12. So 240 periods. The interest rate on an annual basis is 6%, but on a monthly basis, we need to divide that. Now, it comes to 1%, but probably I should show a bit more decimal points here. Do that. Okay. 0.5% is what it would be on a monthly basis. Okay, and then we can determine the house payment. And how we would do that is you use the payment function in Excel. Let me call this up so you can see what I'm doing. It says, tell me where the rate is. Well, the rate's given in cell D11, right there, or 0.5%. Number of periods, 20. Give it the present value, and what I'm going to do is assume we don't have the $230,000, so that's what we have to pay back. We'll show that as a cash payment, so we need to enter it as a negative amount for $230,000, right? So it's given in cell D7, but I put a negative in front of it. If I left it as positive, then my answer comes back as a negative. See how that's negative there? But if I put a negative in there, then I get the payment as a positive number. Either way is fine, long as you understand the answer. All right, so that's $1,647 if we wanted to calculate the house payment. Now, if we use the table approach, what we do is we write down the purchase price, and then we have to determine then we need to look at the table. Let me shrink this a little bit, move this here. Bring the table to life. I'm going to slide this over. Let's bring this to the front. Okay, so now that you can see the table. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this exhibit is already in monthly periods. Okay, from the textbook, it's already giving us the mortgage payment factors, assuming the periods is actually 20 times 12. It's a monthly amount. But it does say per 1,000 of loan amount. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind. So what we do is we say the factor per 1,000 is 7.16. I think I entered that incorrectly. 7.16. And then we divide that by 1,000, right, to come up with what the factor would be per dollar. You could do it this way, or you could leave it alone and divide the purchase price by 1,000. Either way gets you the same answer. And then from there we can calculate the house payment, which is $230,000 times the factor per dollar. So what do we get? $1,646.80. Here it's $1,647.79. So we're really close. It's due to rounding, the fact that that factor per dollar probably is more than 2 decimal places, but this is close enough. All right, let me move this out of the way now. Now, once we have that, then we have to solve the rest of the problem, where we have to consider the other costs. So the property taxes were $1,700. They gave us that, and that's on an annual basis. The property insurance is $620 right there. So our total taxes and insurance is $2,320. Divide that by 12, and we come up with what the monthly amount is, right? I'm just taking the value in D16, dividing it by 12. Okay. The condo fee is already on a monthly basis, so all we have to do is add those up I probably should underline this so that you can see that that's a total monthly amount. 2091 is what we would come up with, assuming we used Excel. Now, if you wanted to use the table approach, the only thing you would change is this amount here would become 164680, right? So we're going to be off just by a penny, very small amounts. All right, so that's two different approaches you could use. I'll put this back in so you can see how I found the 7.16 where it met the 20-year point and the term rate point. And that's two different approaches where you could calculate what the monthly amount would be.